Welcome, beautiful soul, and welcome to your full moon energy forecast for November 2023. Grab yourself pen and paper. This is important because then you can just jot down your own insights, or if you're doing a full moon ritual right now as you watch this video, then no doubt you've already got that at hand. But if you don't, go grab that and then we'll get started. Alrighty, gorgeous. So, how are you going? Oh, dear. Full moon. Okay, full moon. This is your opportunity to really celebrate how far you've come, okay? And it's also an opportunity to do a bit of shadow work. So shadow work is really... Sometimes it's not overly comfortable, but we all know deep down that it's necessary, okay? And as I'm just looking at these cards here, it really feels like there's a lot more of the shadow work involved and not as much celebration. Obviously, this is up to you as to what you do. If you're going to use this full moon as an opportunity to celebrate, awesome. But perhaps if you are going to be doing the shadow work side of things, then this is what you're going to be working on. Okay. So what is the full moon illuminating in your life right now? And she's illuminating your relationships. Okay. It's a lot about leading with the heart over the mind or the head. Okay. So I've drawn the Knight of Cups. And that is certainly more like the Lovers kind of card. You are ready. I feel like you are most certainly ready for a relationship that is going to fill your heart in the way that you know that you deserve and that you want. And a relationship doesn't always have to mean one that we sort of have on the outside as well. It can also be an internal relationship. So if you are seeking a comfortability within yourself, then that can certainly be what the full moon is speaking of. Having a relationship with yourself and really practicing a lot more self-love than what you probably were up until now. And however, it can also mean, like I said, the external relationship as well. So you are sort of opening yourself up a lot more to receiving the kind of love that really, that you definitely do deserve. And I think you're a lot more honest about that as well. It certainly feels, it feels like you are championing. That it feels like you're doing that for yourself and actually saying, you know what, I deserve to be in a loving relationship. I deserve to feel good. I deserve to express my love with someone. I deserve to share my life with someone. Okay, so it really is about you allowing your heart to lead over your mind, over your head. Okay, so that's what the full moon is sort of focused on. But some things can't really occur as well as what they potentially could if we don't release things. Those things, ultimately, if we don't release them, they sort of get in the way of us being able to move forward. Okay, so that's the whole point of a full moon, right? Is to release and surrender. The card that I have drawn for releasing this is the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords is a fairly doom and gloom type card, I know, but there's still optimism attached to this. The one thing that we can really learn from is that we are never going to avoid sorrow and pain and heartache in a lifetime. It's just not possible. We are all going to experience that at some point, and some of us are going to experience it more than others, for whatever reason that is. So essentially, it's feeling like there's something within you that you've experienced where you can't change the situation, you can't change the outcome, you can't change the way it's unfolded. And there's a deep sorrow there and a deep pain there as well. And you may have been carrying this for a very, very, very long time, or it just may be something that has recently shown up. Okay, but either, the emotion attached to it is still very much legitimate, and it's still very much going to influence your ability to just sort of love fully, okay, and really just appreciate this life that you have. So the thought is that you take the sorrow, you take the pain, you take the heartache, and you take it to your heart, and you love that experience for what it was, for what it is, even though by doing that, that's painful. I'm feeling, it's a funny feeling. Saying all that makes me feel sad. You know, I don't know whether I'm picking up your energy or if I'm picking up my energy or what energy I'm picking up right now, but I feel sad about that. But not to a degree where I feel like it's going to consume and take over and not allow me to move forward. I just think that it's sometimes that sadness needs to be felt. Okay, so this is that opportunity with the full moon. It's that opportunity to feel, because really essentially feeling it is your way of surrendering and releasing. Yeah. So yeah, that's a really, really important message that Spirit has for you for this particular time. What will as you're doing that, what is going to come in to your life? I've drawn the Hermit card. So you may feel as you're doing this need to just kind of retreat and sort of remove yourself from society and just sort of have a little bit more you time, a bit of space from other people, and that's totally fine. It's actually quite necessary. You are mature enough too to know that what goes up must come down and vice versa. So you are aware that this isn't a forever thing. This pain and that kind of thing, the heartache, it's not forever, and you know that. But you also know that sometimes for you to process it, it is a case of you having to sort of take some time away and take a step back, okay? You are able to shine light on, even in the darkest of times. You have cultivated a lot more optimism than you have pessimism. And that's really, really going to be helpful for you as you continue, okay? So that's really, really good. So don't be surprised as you're sort of working on this part of self, this heart space, that you will feel drawn to just kind of, just taking a step back. And that's very helpful, very healthy, and it's okay. Okay, it's okay to do that. Not that you need permission, but maybe just you need to hear that, okay? Overall, it's quite a substantial full moon, this one. You know, it's funny because this month of November, the overarching theme is about solitude. And it was sort of emphasized about how a lot of the wisdom that you gain and the changes that you're seeking can actually come from just taking a step back and not being so in on things, not being so drawn in on the drama, and almost sort of declaring a little bit of a boundary and sort of saying, well, this is my boundary, this is what I'm willing to let in, but that's as far as I'm going. So that sort of feels like what you're kind of doing here. By you sort of doing that, retreating, I've drawn the Judgment card. And this is like a rebirth kind of moment for you. So the maturity that you're developing and the way in which you are going about managing or facing the heartache and the trauma that you have experienced in the past is setting you up to be reborn into something or someone or an energy that means that you can take things as gifts rather than seeing them as things that have been done to you. Okay, so I'm just going to sit with this for a bit longer. The one thing that's coming through are the words, what's my part in all of this? And perhaps that's where you are through this reading, is what's my part in all of this? What do I gain from all of this? And yeah, it is a case of going, well, what lesson is that I can take from this? And what do I do with that? So how can I make the most of those situations that really aren't feeling great, but how can I turn that into something where it's just not as crappy? Okay, so and it's also about not being so, in a way, judgmental. That's actually quite funny because I think it was the previous new moon of October, that the judgment card came up as well. And I remember saying about how important it was to not be so self-critical and self-judgmental, and that's come up again. It's quite funny how we do tend to sort of see quite regular, like a card that kind of regularly shows up until that part of that energy has been dealt with. Okay, so yeah, so this full moon, please be kind to yourself. I don't want to put a downer on it because it's, you know, it's meant to be celebratory as well. But yeah, I feel for you. I feel that this is this might be a challenging full moon, and I feel like a lot needs to be released. But it's also an opportunity to be reborn, to change the way that you've been living your life in a much more positive way. Okay, so as sucky as it may feel, because I'm still feeling a little like, ugh. I don't want to kind of, you know, yeah, I don't want to, it's just I'm not feeling this reading very well. Look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. When I do readings, I generally take on board the feeling of what this feels like and what it will feel like. Because, you know, I do these readings just before the full moon, new moon, all of that, before they actually happen. So it's like I'm sort of jumping into that energy before it's come. And it's just feeling a little bit, ugh. And I don't want to, you know, I want to be optimistic for you all the time, and I am being, but at the same time, I just want you just to look after yourself. I really just want you to be really mindful of what's going on in your heart and really express that in a way that you just know it's healthy to try and let that go, okay? And ask the full moon, I'm ready to surrender this. I no longer need this, and I want to make some more space for other things which will allow me to change my ways, to change my perception about the world, to change my perception about myself, and see what is my part in all of this. Where do I fit in with this? What's my purpose in all of this? Okay, so that was a really long way around it, wasn't it? Oh, you're nice and warm, Teddy. You've been in the sun or something. Oh, he's beautifully warm. Okay, gorgeous. So yeah, I apologize if this reading was a little bit funky. Obviously, I can't control the energy of each of these readings. Maybe my way of coming across was a little bit funky as well, so I apologize for that completely. So I'm hoping that was okay. But yes, anyway, blessed, blessed full moon. You have got this. You've got that ability to surrender what you don't need. You really do. You really, really do. So just see this as an opportunity to let that go, okay? And pave way for some really exciting new beginnings for yourself. Okay. Blessed full moon, beautiful. Sending you so much love. Namaste.